Let's get started with part 4 of Lab 6, where you are going to be adding streams and divides to a map, to a contour map. And the contour map that you're going to be using is shown on the next page here. This is the contour map. And to get you started, some parts of streams have been included. Those would be these blue lines here. This is, of course, a stream as well, shown in gray. That's on the map. These streams were not on maps, but this is where we would expect streams to occur. And as we can see, part of the reason we would expect streams to occur there is because of our rule of V's. If we follow one of these contours along, there's a deflection, an upward V, right in this area here, which indicates it's a little bit lower there, and that's because the water is draining down in this direction here. So one of the first things you're going to do is you're going to draw in where you think all of the streams are. And for that, you can just use, they're in blue there, so I'll keep it as blue. You can just start at the end point here, and then you can just add in where you think the streams are going here. And just follow the row of V's. The tip of the V is going to show you where the stream is coming from. And you'll just continue on like that. Now, one thing to remember here is that streams have tributaries. So I decided to follow this big V up this stream when I was drawing this blue line, and it can go even further. But look what's happening over here. We have a little V coming off of the side here. This is usually an indication that there's some sort of tributary there that's feeding into this main stream here. So you're going to trace out all of the V's that you see. This one keeps going up. Here's a clear indication here, one where tributaries go off in two different directions here. Not much happening with this one here because it's draining a fairly small area. But you're going to fill in this entire map with a lot of lines representing where you would expect to find streams, or at least a little bit of a valley or a gully if you were walking through this area here. The other thing that's on this map is these black dash lines here, and I'm just going to change over to black here. And this is showing where the drainage divides are. So we can see this, they're using a 5-foot contour interval here. Here's 250, here's 245 coming around here. We can see it labeled over here. And so we're going down in all directions from this hill, which is here. So if a drop of water fell on this side, it would end up going into this river here. If a drop of water fell on this side, it would end up getting down into this river on the other side here. So this is what we call a drainage divide. And I put on some starters of drainage divides for you, but the important thing to remember here is to stay high. So here we have a ridge coming down at 255, then here's 250, and then here's 245 coming all the way around like this. And they all have this dashed line on them because they're all the highest point around. So for example, if you wanted to complete where the divide would be, you would have to connect up these two, same here, same staying along this ridge here. But then we have to connect it down to where we want to draw this drainage basin for this river too. So this would be all the area that eventually, if runoff occurs anywhere in this area, it's going to drain into this river. So we kind of have to pick an area somewhere between here. You can just extend this line up to that ridge there. The same there, look for the highest, the place that the ridge extends out the most towards Z. And in the end, you're going to have an outline, kind of a leaf-shaped outline. It's going to show you where the drainage area for this particular river that's flowing into the West Fork of the Mill Creek is right at that point Z. And then you'll shade that in. After you draw the streams and the drainages, you'll report on a couple of things like how many tributaries are in the stream, feed into the stream near the center of the map, and then that will be it for part 4.